Hi and welcome to the channel. Today we will unbox and benchmark this Sapphire Pure RX 7700 XT. I bought this for 26,200 pesos or around $450, which is considered below MSRP in the Philippines. I also bought this during a sale, so I had some vouchers as well. Around the box, there is nothing to nitpick. Anyway, opening the box. Upon opening, there is another carton box. And upon opening the carton box, you'd see a foam padding around half an inch. After that, you'd see a thick installation guide in many languages and another manual for the GPU support bracket. Speaking of GPU support bracket, here is the said bracket. I haven't opened it yet. Anyway, here's the GPU itself. Previously, there was a plastic film coating the GPU, but I removed it already. It is mainly white, but it has a red accent here, which also has red LED lighting. Based on Sapphire's website, you can turn this off, but I didn't test it. Anyway, it obviously has 3 fans, and it has a fan stop mode, which is always appreciated. As for the dimensions, it is 320mm by 129mm. It is a 2.5 slot GPU, and as for the output ports, it has 2 display ports and 2 HDMI. It has a nice metal backplate for rigidity and aesthetics, but it has no thermal pads which could have been used to dissipate heat. As for power, it requires 2 8-pin PCIe connectors as its total board power is 240 watts. As for the temps, while benchmarking FF15 in 4K for 30 minutes, the GPU temps averaged at 59.87 degrees Celsius with a max temp of 61 degrees Celsius. The hotspot temps averaged at 83.39 degrees Celsius with a max temp of 86 degrees Celsius. The fan speeds averaged at 35.46% with a max of 41%. In RPM, this is 1,558 and 1,746 respectively. The GPU temp is good, however, there is a big difference in GPU and hotspot temps. On average, around 23 degrees Celsius and at most 27 degrees Celsius difference. This suggests that either the GPU mounting is bad or it is measuring the memory junction temps, or both. And as for the benchmarks, looking at average gains and losses, at 1440p, I could say that this GPU doesn't make sense at $450. RTX 4060 Ti 8GB at $400 is slightly better in price to performance against the 7700 XT, while the RX 7800 XT is 20% better in performance for only 11% more money. Other than that, the missing picture here is the RTX 4060 Ti 16GB, which cost $500. But it will not change anything in my opinion, as 4060 Ti 16GB is negligible in terms of performance as compared to its 8GB variant. For me, RX 7800 XT is still the most bang for the buck GPU in its price range. As for the problem with this GPU, well, I encountered the green screen of death or GSOD, which is documented in some Reddit posts. I tried a couple of DDU and multiple driver versions to no avail. At the time, I was blaming my motherboard as it is somewhat bent already. I also had a couple of issues with the motherboard, such as its Bluetooth no longer recognizable, and it can only recognize the NVMe storage in the main slot for a few minutes only after Windows startup. So for the Bluetooth, I was no longer able to troubleshoot it, but for the storage, I transferred it to another computer and it works, suggesting a motherboard or CPU malfunction. As for the GPU, I can use it for an extended amount of time and suddenly it will just hit the GSOD. To fix this issue, while some Redditors suggest to just RMA the GPU, it may be harder to prove depending on where you are, as your retailers may validate the situation and may not be able to replicate the issue on their side. Given that, I tried to install the GPU on another PC and do a load test on it for more than 2 hours. It was okay on another PC, meaning my GPU is probably fine. Probably. It could then be a mix of motherboard, CPU, and also the driver. At the time, the most logical move for me was to reinstall Windows. It neither needs an extra investment nor a new motherboard, which warrants a new OS install anyway. And guess what? After a new Windows OS install, my Bluetooth worked, meaning the issue that I had when I tested the RX 7800 XT is confirmed to be an AMD driver messing things up. Anyway, I was also able to finish my test with the RX 7700 XT this time, which means that we can conclude that GSOD can be caused by either the driver or DDU, or the combination of both. Again, based on experience, I'm leaning on the driver. As for my NVMe drive, I didn't bother installing it back. I had too much troubleshooting time spent on this GPU. On another note, if you get a sudden restart, it could likely be a PSU to GPU issue. If you have spare PCIe cables, try to replace those. It seems that 7800 XT and 7700 XT are extremely sensitive in power delivery. As for Sapphire's pure RX 7700 XT, while it's not that bad in terms of cooling performance, and while it looks okay in my opinion, it's just that I find it a waste of money spending on 7700 XT even at discounted price. In the Philippines, if the 7700 XT is discounted, it is also highly likely that the 7800 XT is also discounted. Overall, for 7700 XT, if it's not 20% less than the 7800 XT, I'll say don't waste your money on this. On another note, the Nitro Plus RX 7700 XT is very near to the 7800 XT, which makes it even less compelling. Anyway, that's it for this video. Do let me know in the comments down below on what you think of this GPU. Thanks for watching. Do like or dislike and subscribe for more unboxing, SFF builds, and benchmarks. Bye!